I have 2 disclaimers for today's episode. Disclaimer number 1, if I'm squinting a lot, it's because I've been dealing with some eyeball dryness. I don't even know. I've been lubricating, I've been re-wetting, I've been doing all the things that the eye doctors tell you to do, and it just has not been solved. So that's number 1. Number 2 is I am mentally unprepared, but prepared to be canceled by incels and football fans on Twitter. And you know what? It's just gonna happen, and joke's on them because I don't even go on Twitter. I only do for research. I'm scared to talk about sports. This is like one of the mots. I'm never scared to touch a mots, but this is one where I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I've been putting it off, but it's been so highly requested. We are going to be dissecting the very messy love. What's bigger than a triangle? A love hexagon, a love octagon of the wags of Argentinian soccer players that I just didn't even know that it could get this messy. So we did work with our Argentinian researchers on this, and she just gave me like a very firm warning. She was like, you know how in America, for Thanksgiving, you don't want to talk to your uncle about religion or politics? In Argentina, we don't want to talk about religion, politics, and football. They call it football, so everyone calls it football. I don't know why we call it soccer, okay? They don't like to talk about soccer. That's how divisive this topic is. But we're about to dive right in. Let me introduce you to... Oh my gosh. I'm so upset. Let me introduce you to player number 1. CEO is the position that she has on the field. Her name is Wanda Nara. She's very important. She's the main character in probably the next 3-part episodes of Mots. Because her life is batshit insane. She's Wanda. She looks beautiful. Her superpower is monetizing heartbreak. That's her biggest thing. She can do it and she does it well. And you'll be so confused about how you even feel about her by the end of this. You keep flip-flopping. Her iconic quote is, another family that you destroyed, you bitch, you cunt. Her weakness is her Instagram stories. If you think that you've had a private conversation with Wanda Nara, no, you fucking didn't, because it's about to end up on her Instagram story. Let me give you the lowdown on the history of Miss Wanda. Miss Wanda grew up in the suburbs of Argentina. She didn't even grow up in the city, and her whole family, it's more structured like a talent agency than it is a family. Wanda's parents raised Wanda and her sister Zyra, very important to the conversation later, and they're all about getting into the upper echelon of show business royalty. Are they Nepo babies? No, they're like just a middle-class family. But her parents have been prepping her since day 1. They're like, this is the fastest way that you're gonna get out of the burbs, the suburbs, and into the big city. Which, by the way, Wanda's dad is so crazy, okay? They're all about fame. They're kind of like the Kardashians. Wanda's dad would later be the guy that will do interviews about Wanda, his own daughter's most private, painful moments in life. And his t-shirt is like a Formula 1 car, just sponsored company labels all over his t-shirt while he does interviews. He's getting paid. Oh yeah, like a NASCAR car. He's crazy, okay? And then on the other hand, you have Wanda's mom. She's very quiet, very calm, but she is always watching and she's always maneuvering. She's making moves. She's the one that's posting on Instagram, move in silence. Like, that's the mom. Wanda, she starts her life off ever since she was a kid, just doing random ass reality shows. Argentina's Dancing with the Stars, Skating with the Stars. She does this other show called Married with Children. She does another one that's like Without Codes, which is kind of ironic later because everyone thinks that Wanda Nara is the woman who breaks all soccer codes. There's a few codes in soccer. Like, there's the actual game rules. That's not what we're talking about. There are codes in the locker room. People say the thing with soccer athletes, football athletes, is that you do not touch another player's wife. You just don't. You never do. A girlfriend, you don't touch them. I mean, they might as well be a fucking nun to you, okay? They are a Buddhist monk. You just imagine them bald. No matter how hot they are, you don't look at them.
That's
you
crazy
don't touch
that you
them.
have to make a rule for that.
Yes. And then even if it's like a short
Don't
fling,
sleep with your teammate's wife, okay?
yeah, please don't. But even if it's a girlfriend for 1 month, you cannot date them the next month. Like it's very tricky business.
Okay.
Like if they dated for 2 weeks, you could probably have a cool off period, and then you could probably talk to them about it, and then perhaps they might let you date them. But usually it's just like the code of conduct. Like you play with the ball, but you don't play with people who have played with your teammates' balls. Like it's a thing that's just not, it's frowned upon. It's frowned upon. So Wanda, she starts making it big when she's 19 years old. This is like way back in 2006. So Wanda Nara has been around for a very long time. 19-year-old Wanda. I think she called paparazzi on herself, but disregard me, okay? Paparazzi are suddenly all over this 19-year-old, and they're like hiding in the bush, TMZ style, and it's a paparazzi video of this 19-year-old girl, and she's outside of a hotel room. This is like one of those suites. So when you exit the suite, it's like your own private garden. And someone is like hiding in the bushes of the garden, and she's just casually taking a phone call. And here's why I think this is all staged. She's casually taking a phone call, but she's like touching her stomach, and she's like wearing a short dress. And her dress is like all the way up, so her butt is out. Her butt is out. And I'm like, I've never just casually taken a phone call where I'm letting my butt out in public. I mean, it's not public, it's a private garden, but
she's
still.
not wearing any clothes?
Oh, that's the catch. She's wearing a pair of boxers. Now, why is this so scandalous? Because these boxers are a pair of men's boxers that belong to Diego Maradona in Argentina.
Wait, how do they know the boxer belongs to?
Because people decided that they were going to whip out their little computers. They're going to put on their little eyeglasses, tippity tappity tap, and they're like, he was at this hotel the same time that she was at this hotel. And look at this picture of him where his pants were coming down a little bit, and these are the same boxers. Look at the boxers. People are squaring in. They're analyzing.
What does the boxer look like?
It just looks like regular boxers, like boxers that you wear. And people are analyzing the shit out of it. They're catching print. They're doing everything. And they're like, these are Diego Maradona's boxers. This is a retired soccer player. He won the 1986 Soccer World Cup for Argentina, which I know you're thinking, oh, that was so long ago. But my Argentinian researcher was like, let me break it down for you, you dumb bitch. No, she didn't say that. Okay. She was like, imagine it's Michael Jordan. And I said, Michael Jordan? That's crazy. Also, the new video. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then
imagine you standing there wearing Michael Jordan's underwear.
No, and
boxer.
She's like, but it's not just Michael Jordan. It's like if Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson were the same person. And I said, what? He's singing and he's footballing? What's going on? Okay. She was like, I don't know how to explain it, but just it's that level.
So it's like a mega star. Is that right?
Yeah. Okay. You have more questions. I did too. So apparently when he RIP sadly passed away in 2020, the government declared 3 days of national mourning. They opened up the presidential palace so that people could file past his coffin. And this is in the middle of COVID lockdown. So people were lined up for just hours all day. The crowds took over the street. There were riots. Police had to intervene. It was insane. This is during COVID when people weren't even allowed to go to their own family's funerals. Wow. But they're going to his funeral. Like the rules just didn't apply because he's that big of a legend. So she's 19 and there's this video that comes out and she's allegedly wearing his boxers. And again, I feel like she called paparazzi on herself. What do I know? Gossip little forums, they go full CSI. They're zooming in on the fabric. They're like, look at that thread count. Look at his boxers. We're catching print. This is a 19-year-old dating the GOAT. Holy shit. By the way, he was 45, so it made it a little bit messier because like double her age plus, and she's like a nobody. At this point, nobody even knows who this girl is. And instead of hiding in shame, because my researcher was like, you know, Argentina, like most countries, it's still, I mean, Argentina is a very Catholic run country, so there's a lot of shame in just being spotted, being someone's girl toy, boy toy, you know? And instead of hiding, Wanda decides that she's going to go on a full PR tour where she declares that she is a virgin. Like, it is the most random PR tour. You were just spotted with a GOAT soccer player. And no offense, pro athletes are not known for keeping it in their pants. You're wearing his boxers. So what is he wearing? He definitely didn't keep it in his pants. He didn't even keep his boxers on. So you're wearing his boxers and you're telling us that you're a virgin? What? But it kind of worked. Because in Argentina, my researcher was like, we have this thing. And I agree with this. I feel like this is everywhere. Where either you're pure or you're a whore. That's it. That's it. There's no middle ground. You're either like a virgin, innocent, like teen idol, or you're like a sexy Madonna and there's no in between. You're either going to be hypersexualized or you're like a saint that has never been touched. So now Wanda is confusing the shit out of everyone because we just saw you looking like that, but then you're saying you're this, and everyone's having like a full-blown conniption. Their minds are blown. They can't even grasp the concept of what's going on.
Like she just like going around the stations talking about.
Yeah, she's like, that was me in his boxers, but I need to let you know.
She did say that they are dating.
No, she said we're not dating. That was just so silly, goofy. She's like, yeah, it was that. I mean, that was a picture. I was wearing his boxers, but nothing happened. I'm a virgin.
Okay.
So everyone's like, huh. I mean, because she's so blatant about it, no one can even question her, even though we kind of feel like she's lying. But also, what's it to us if she's lying? So I guess slay. I don't know. Like everyone's confused about how to feel, and everyone is just like, I guess we're just gonna let it happen. And all the major TV news networks, all they want are the clicks. So an interview with her at this moment, they're gonna get the clicks. So they're platforming her and she's saying I'm a virgin and everyone's confused. They don't really know how to feel about Wanda, but she starts going viral. And she just leans so into this virality that she nearly tips over 1,000,000 times. She hits up every major talk show. Then she starts going on and doing these reality shows. She's all up on the tabloids every single day and she's just getting paid. She even does a magazine cover where it says "My Little Virgin" and it's like her with half her boobs out. But the cover title is like I don't know, and like I love her for that because it was confusing. Everyone's confused because we're not used to this. And like slay, you can be a virgin and be hot at the same time. Although I don't think she's a virgin. But that's fine. And she even becomes big enough that she hits up Argentina's, it's like Dancing with the Stars, but on ice. So all of these celebrities, like smaller celebrities, are gonna learn how to figure skate with their partners. With like a random partner that they're given, and they're figure skating. And I just need to play the video for you because some people think that it was staged. Okay, so this is how it starts. Also, her ass is just out the entire time.
What do you mean?
Like, just watch. Like, she's just wearing a thong under a tutu. Yeah. Like, just a thong under a tutu is how we're doing it. So then they're spinning, and then she just falls. And then she just, like, lays there for a second.
Oh, is that supposed to be an accident?
They said it was an accident.
Right.
I feel like it was on purpose. It becomes a meme. It feels calculated, but it works because I think this was the most replayed clip in that year of any sort of reality show.
Why?
And everyone started calling her the Virgin of Ice because she's so bad on ice. And they're just poking fun at her. And I mean, it just seemed like she realizes early on, if she cannot be taken seriously, she's just going to go walk to hell with it. She's just going to let everyone meme her to shit and back. And that is when she meets her first soccer player husband, her first footballer by the name of Maxi Lopez. Okay, Maxi Lopez is a football player that everybody thinks is handsome and charismatic. And for a time, he's playing for the Italian team, which apparently in the world of Argentinian soccer, this is like the ultimate prize. Once you get signed for a European team, that means you're getting a lot of money and you're getting bigger status than every other player. So this is like the dream. This is imagining being the first round draft pick of the NBA or the NFL. That's the vibe this is giving. So she meets Maxi Lopez. They get married in 2008. They get 3 young kids together. And then that is when everything starts falling to shit.
Really?
Holy cow. Holy cow. Okay, so before she meets Maxi Lopez, she decides, I'm not just going to be a wag. Which, by the way, in Argentina, I feel like wags in America.
What is a wag?
Wife and girlfriend.
Okay.
Wife and girlfriend of a pro athlete. So there's like football wags, there's basketball wags, there's F1 wags. Everybody has a tennis wags. Okay, everybody's got wags.
Sounds like a slang.
Yeah, it's a wife and girlfriend. Yeah. So every sport has wags. Now in Argentina, wags are not seen the way that we see them here. Like when we see wags here, we're like, God, they're living the life. Look at them, okay? And then there's drama, and then there's like someone else is getting pregnant. There's a lot of like wag drama, and it's all about like what are the wags wearing to the competitions? Who cares about F1? I want to know what the girlies are wearing, okay? That's the vibe here. We love them, we idolize them, they're beautiful. But then in Argentina, they're kind of looked down upon as groupies. So there's like a slightly more negative connotation to wags over there. And if you are a wag, you're supposed to be grateful and quiet. That's the vibe. Like your husband's cheating, doesn't matter. Be grateful and be quiet. Wanda's like, I'm not going to be a wag. I'm going to be fucking Wanda. So she decides that she's going to get some sort of certification where she can become an agent. She becomes a football agent, certified to negotiate contracts.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah. Does she have clients? No, she's going to marry them first. So she marries Maxi Lopez.
And she became his agent?
Yeah.
Oh, slay.
She starts trying to be
What?
his agent, you know? And you know, the way that she is a wag is very different. I feel like, do we know any wags like this? I don't know.
I mean, she's like, she knows her goals and she's going after it, right?
Yeah.
She's trying to be a businesswoman. And
Yes, but she's very emotional about it because she's the type of person where if she is happy, if she's in a good mood with her husband or the footballers or whoever, she's going to post pictures of her Birkins in a private jet. And she's going to be like, family above all. She's going to be posting pics with her kids. She's going to be doing this, doing that. And then the minute that she's angry, it's going to be a 3 a.m. blurry, her crying in bed. And then it's going to say something along the lines of like, when loyalty doesn't mean loyalty. Okay. And then you're going to be like, I know some shit is going down in her private life. And it's just very obvious. She just is so true to herself. She will not be bullied by the boys of soccer. She marries Maxi Lopez. And that's how the relationship goes. But I need to introduce you to the next person first. They're all going to merge. His name is Mauro Icardi.
Mauro Icardi.
Icardi is like a pretty big name in soccer. So that's why I'm scared. Okay.
Oh.
I saw lots
Bigger than
of
Max, what is it?
Maxi Lopez. Okay, that's the thing about Maxi Lopez. He has a ton of trophies under his name, but they call him the trophy tourist. So what happened was he gets signed with all these European teams, and all of those teams end up winning these massive trophies.
Right.
But he's always benched. So he does get the trophy under his name,
yeah.
but he's not really playing a lot of
Like
the
a
game.
superstar,
Yeah. So, but then people always thought that he was gonna be a superstar. So like a lot of people love him, but
Yeah. So Icardi is even bigger?
Icardi is
Icardi,
bigger, yeah.
okay.
A lot of people think that he's better at playing. He's very aggressive. He's an aggressive player. So he grew up in Argentina as well. And, he grew up in the same hometown as Messi. So a lot of people say it's actually hard to be from that hometown.
Yeah.
Because, everyone wants to be a soccer player now because Messi's from there. And then everyone's like, well, you're never going to be Messi. And so it's kind of like, am I supposed to try to be the next Messi or not? Like, what do you want from me? So he grew up in that town, and it said that his dad worked multiple jobs working in factories just so he could play football. Like, football is not a game to Icardi. Like, football is life. And I mean, like, not in like the football is life way, like genuinely football is life. There was a time where Argentina's economy is collapsing. His dad is working at factories. His mom works a small salon. I mean, they have no money. Everybody's just betting on Icardi. Even when he's 9 years old, he's so skinny and he's just full of dreams. Everyone thought that he was going to fail and he doesn't. They get him into Spain for like a youth soccer club. And just to give you an idea, this is a pretty legendary soccer club. And he was a legendary kid. He scored more than 500 goals during the ages of 9 and 15. So if you average that out, he's averaging like 100 goals a season. In a typical youth league, even the star player does about 20 to 30 goals a season.
Dang.
He's averaging 100 goals a season. And he's so good at scoring goals. He's so cold-blooded in front of the net. That's what people call him. He's also not really like a big team player. That was kind of his thing, okay? It's like a big thing. And his parents are They're like your typical athlete parents. They're on the sidelines. They got that crock pot of home cooked meal. The other team players are like, oh, let's go out to eat together since we just did so well during practice. And he's like, no thanks. He walks over. His mom gives him like a crock pot meal. He eats on the field. And then his mom is like, back to it. By yourself. Back on the field, bitch. Like, that's the vibe. At this point, he starts getting recruited by all the top 3 clubs. It's like Real Madrid, Arsenal, and Liverpool.
Oh my God, bro.
I don't know what I'm talking about. He gets scouted by those 3. And so to put it into perspective, it's imagine you're a teenager in high school. You're doing your school plays. And then all of a sudden, Disney, HBO, Netflix, they're at your door and they say, we want you. Don't go to them, come to us. He picks FS Barcelona, top tier team, youth soccer club, and then he moves to a different town for this. And this is like, I think one of the most famous youth academies in the entire world. Messi also went there. So lots of pressure, okay? But here's the problem. At FC Barcelona, they are on like a system-based sport. So the Argentinians call it tiki-taka. So it just means it's like a style of play. So that the way they play soccer is everyone is supposed to be part of a machine. It's unselfish. You're not trying to be the star player. It's about equal parts to a machine. So there's constant short passing nonstop. So you barely get the ball for like 2 seconds before you're supposed to pass it to the next person, and then another person, and then another person. You don't really have the time to shine. Now, Icardi, on the other hand, is a striker. So his whole existence on the field is dedicated to scoring goals. It's not to pass, it's to score. So everyone is playing, sharing the ball as a unit, and he would position himself exclusively and probably fucking annoying to his teammates right in front of the other opponent's goal so that he can try to get the ball and then strike the ball into the goal. He's not interested in learning how to work together or any of that. And once he's 19, he starts transitioning from a youth career to the professional career, and that's where he meets his mentor, Maxi Lopez.
What?
Okay. So they're on the same team, but Maxi is much older. So they're like, he's like a mentor. Yeah, he's more experienced.
What's their age gap?
Maxi Lopez is 8 years older than Icardi. So when Icardi is 19, he's 27. And then Wanda is 2 years younger than Maxi. So she would be 25 and Icardi is 19.
Oh.
Yeah. So you have a 25-year-old and a 27-year-old that are married with 3 kids, 3 boys, okay? And then you have a 19-year-old who's transitioning from youth soccer teams, like the youth league, to the professional league.
This is wild.
Yeah, and then, okay, so a lot of people say that when there is a player that's transitioning from youth to professional, they will take on like they'll be godparented by someone. It's like a very sentimental term in Spanish that I cannot pronounce, but it basically means like this is a mentor that's not just taking you in on the field. They'll usually take you into their home. They'll teach you like how to become an adult in terms of, well, when the professional leagues, they try to negotiate this way, like you need to look out for yourself this way. Like they teach you locker room code.
Like a godfather almost.
Yeah, they like teach you all the nuances of like, this is the captain, this is the owner of the team, like this is how you should behave in these types of settings. When there's this sort of gala, you dress like this. Like it's someone who teaches you the ropes of professional league sports.
But he didn't move into their house, right?
He lived in their house for quite a minute, and sometimes he would babysit the kids. He would go on family trips with them, and he would babysit the kids.
Oh my God.
So, you know where this is gonna go, right? Okay?
Oh shit.
Yeah, so Maxi introduces Wanda to Icardi because he's like, duh, this is my wife. And I imagine as a 27-year-old and your wife is around the same age as you, you would never imagine introducing them to a 19-year-old boy would do something. Because they're
19
like,
is
19,
crazy.
19.
He looked so young.
Yeah.
He has a baby face.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
But, you know, what kind of relationship are Wanda and Maxi Lopez even in? Because how can a 19-year-old come into the picture and just stir shit up? Let me go back. You know that feeling when you come home late from work and those puppy dog eyes just like pierce through your soul? Or you're packing for a trip and your cat refuses to leave your suitcase? Yeah, we have all been there. Pet parent guilt is real, and you know what? It's completely normal, and that's exactly why Hill's Pet Nutrition exists. They understand that being a pet parent means being human with all our imperfections and daily juggling acts. Hill's science-led nutrition helps you give more love than humanly possible. Whether it's those long work days or trying to balance attention between multiple pets, Hill's Pet Nutrition gets it. They've created science-based nutrition that supports your pet's lifelong health so you can feel confident even when life gets hectic. Because you're only human. There's Hill's. Science does more. Ready to let go of the guilt? Find the right food at hillspet.com/podcast. That's hillspet.com/podcast. Maxi Lopez and Wanda meet at a party. Now, a lot of people think that Wanda had this all planned, that a friend called her and was like, hey, I'm going to this party and there's going to be some famous footballers there. By this point, he had already signed I think like a $6-7 million contract with a European team. It does increase more, but that was just the beginning. So they're like, you got to show up, Wanda. Wanda's like, duh. She flies to the other side of the country to show up to this party, walks in, and he falls in love. It is said that she walked in just like messy hair, looking not super done up. So that's Wanda. Wanda never wants to be categorized as a groupie, even though sometimes she kind of does groupie shit, you know what I mean? But that's okay. But she doesn't want to be categorized as one. She doesn't want these footballers to look at her and think, oh, this is like a one-night stand groupie. So she's dressed very differently than you would imagine what, like, I guess would appeal to a ton of pro athletes, and he's into it. He falls in love. They get engaged. They have this huge wedding ceremony that's like a Kardashian style TV special. It was like a 5-layer cake, a skyscraper of 200 bottles of top tier champagne. The guest list was all-star football players. It was the royal wedding. Even the hotel suites, each room had each guest's name engraved onto the door. And then right after, Maxi Lopez goes back to training. Wanda goes on a trip with her friends, and it's like a modern football romance. They do a ton of interviews together, and it's like this very inspirational, traditional Cinderella story. They're both young. He's successful, good at what he does. She's about to be a homemaker because she's about to have children, and it's going to be this incredible thing. So they get 3 golden sons. That's what they're called. Okay, 2009, 2010, 2012. They have 3 sons. Maxi Lopez, provider, soccer player. Wanda, amazing mom. That was supposed to be the image, right? Because usually that's how it goes in the world of football.
Is it?
That's how it goes. See, that's like the pro athlete culture. And like, that's not even just athlete culture. That's CEO culture. That's any one party is rich culture. It's the husband sometimes will be acting a fool, doing all these crazy things. However, the wife gives PR statements. She stays at home with the kids. She buys a new Ferrari every other month, you know, and then they don't complain. That's the culture. Should that be normal? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's typically what happens. However, Wanda doesn't want to do that. She doesn't like the silent wife act. So near the end of their relationship, she starts going to these reporters and saying that despite being in a Ferrari every day, she is completely alone. She leaks to the press that she feels like a luxury high-end servant who's raising their 3 sons while he's living his life like a bachelor. And everyone's like, we're not used to this. We are not used to this, especially Argentinian football players. They're not used to this. So my researcher was telling me, like, again, the WAGs are supposed to be very grateful and quiet. That's the vibe. You get to live this luxury life, but you be grateful and you be quiet and you don't air out dirty laundry. And typically there's a shit ton of dirty laundry. And then sometimes the husbands are so freaking dumb that they get caught doing their dirty laundry in public. And then the wife gives a PR statement. They give a PR statement and they go back to being a happy family and being quiet and grateful and then all over again. But Wanda's like, I don't even care. You guys don't even know anything, but I'm going to let you know I'm not happy. I don't want to be here. Everyone's like, this is crazy. So a lot of people get mad at Wanda. They're not mad at what she said because there's a lot of truth to what she said. They just don't like that she said it out loud, basically. And so this is like near the rocky part of their relationship. Maxi Lopez is like, you know what? I don't like my home life. I'm going to take on a little brother on the soccer team. I'm going to take in 19-year-old Icardi, and I'm going to invite him into my home, to the dinner table, onto my yacht with my family, with my wife and 3 sons, because he's like the little brother that I never had.
Yikes.
This one season, they really only just had one season where they played on the same team, would change the history of their lives. It would change everything. So in 2013, Maxi Lopez and Wanda call it quits. They announced to the public that they're getting a divorce, that they're going to be co-parenting, focusing on their sons, and nobody's shocked because at this point, Wanda had been slowly complaining with more higher frequency of how unhappy she was in her family life. So people are like, okay, that makes sense. We knew this was coming. But what we did not know was coming is that suddenly she just starts very quickly publicly flirting on Instagram with one of Maxi Lopez's teammates. Icardi. And everyone is so confused because, I mean, this is like the conservative world of professional sports. The ex-wife of a player usually has like a very specific role, which is you're just like now the mother of a player's children. The other players are not supposed to date you. They're not supposed to marry you. They're not supposed to hang out with you, really. Like, it's like a very different... You're there to like take your alimony and protect the player's reputation. Again, do I agree with that? No, you should burn the house down if you feel like it. But I'm just saying that's what's expected. And Wanda is out there publicly flirting with Icardi on Instagram. And this just blows up.
How old was Icardi then?
2013. So probably 20, 21.
Oh.
Yeah. And he starts publicly flirting back. Because it's one thing if Wanda's just flirting, because maybe it's like, oh, she's being so messy, she's crashing out. Yeah. But Icardi is also interacting with her posts, liking all of her like thirst traps. And everyone's like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And just to give you an idea, once these start going viral of them having flirtations on Instagram, people start digging up other things. And they go all the way back to 2005. This is when Maxi Lopez is like becoming the star at Barcelona soccer team. Icardi is a child. He's a kid. He goes to the Barcelona Youth Academy and he approaches Maxi Lopez for an autograph and they take a picture together. And it's just like a short, tiny little Icardi and a full-grown Maxi Lopez.
Yeah.
And now he's stealing his wife. He's stealing his wife.
Oh, man.
Like a few months after the divorce is finalized.
How the world works, right?
Yeah. And they start, okay, so they go from just like flirting online and then just straight up, like, let it be known we are together. Wanda has this song that she likes called You and Only You. And I think she like tweets about it. Icardi retweets and says, for you, my love, but I like the one you dedicated to me better. And so he's like dedicating songs back to her. And he's like, my heart is in your hands. Be careful. He literally tweets this to Wanda. So everybody is having a full-blown meltdown. The soccer fans don't even know what to do. Which jersey do they keep? Do they burn their jerseys? Do they burn the house down? Do they never touch a ball ever again? Nobody understands what's happening right now. And there's always this undertone that Wanda and Icardi are dating. Like, it's pretty known that they're dating because they're doing this publicly, but they're not like coming out being like, hey guys, so we're engaged. People thought that would be the first thing that happens. But no, instead we just get the handshake wars. Handshake wars. This becomes almost like a geopolitical discourse. This is dissected by news stations as if we're going into like a UN summit, as if we're going into Davos. Okay, what they would do is anytime, now they're on separate teams. Maxi Lopez and Icardi are on separate teams. And anytime two teams play against each other, they all line up in a row and they do handshakes before they run onto the field.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, so everyone's like, wait, are they gonna shake hands? Are Maxi Lopez and Icardi gonna shake hands?
But Maxi has never said anything?
He doesn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, is he gonna shake Icardi's hand?
Yeah.
And so we see all these. This gets more clicks than the actual soccer match. They had something called Handshake Cam dedicated to this. Usually, nobody gives a about the Handshake Cam because everybody just shakes each other's hands. There's nothing really crazy about it. It's supposed to be about sportsmanship, right? Who cares about sportsmanship? But now that it's Maxi and Icardi, they're like, we gotta get the handshake cam. And even for like the 48 hours before a game, people are on all the sports channels. ESPN is like, are they going to shake hands? Only time will tell. Last time they didn't. Last time we thought we saw some contact, but no, it was a snub. It was this. I mean, they're genuinely talking about it like we dissect politicians' handshakes.
At the end of the day, we all just nosy ass people.
And every single time, Maxi Lopez does not shake Icardi's hand. Ever. Never, ever, ever. It's like immortalized in the history of soccer. The pettiness is solidified in memes. He never shakes his hand. And as Wanda and Icardi's relationship gets a lot more public, people are trying to understand how it happened. Is this the reason that Maxi Lopez and Wanda broke up, or is it not? Now, people are getting suspicious because Wanda was yapping her mouth to a reporter saying that she was unhappy, he's living the bachelor life, and she's just raising these 3 sons. Meanwhile, Maxi Lopez eventually comes out and is like, that's not true at all. Like, this divorce happened when we were good. Nothing bad was happening in our relationship, and then we got a divorce, and then turns out she's dating Icardi, so you can come to your own conclusions. We don't know what the truth is. Was Wanda already considering dating Icardi? And then she starts leaking information to the press where she's like, no, I'm so miserable, so that eventually when she does break up with Maxi Lopez and then moves on, people are going to be like, oh, well, it was Maxi's fault for ignoring her. And also, there's a lot of leaks where it just seems like Maxi doesn't know how to hold it down in the bedroom. That was the vibe it was giving.
What
and
does
Maxi,
that mean?
like, he's not.
Based on what leaks? Just
Basically,
rumors?
Wanda. You know, and then Maxi is like, no, the sheets were still warm. Okay, when you left.
What?
It's just like, we don't know was this cheating? How many codes were broken? That's what people want to know.
What does like sheets still warm when you were leaving mean?
It's like, we're still doing it. We're still in love. And then all of a sudden, like, you're cheating. You're cheating, you know?
Oh, when you're cheating, my sheets are still warm.
Yes.
You just got your ass out of the sheets.
Yeah, it could be that. Or we're also still romantically involved and you're cheating, you know?
Oh, got it.
You know, versus like Wanda made it seem like I've been alone for so long. Yes, we're married, but he's never home. I'm alone. And in my loneliness, I may have found happiness. You know, that was kind of her vibe. And he's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you saying, lady? So we don't know what the truth is. You can come to your own conclusion. But people are trying to find the timeline. Was she seeing Icardi before the divorce? Was it after? Was he a rebound that turned into something serious?
Yeah.
Or was this the plan all along? She like plotted it. She was like, you know what? I kind of like that one. And so she divorces Maxi Lopez and then starts dating. Or did the dating start happening when she was still married? Like, people are trying to understand what this is. There's also like lots of bizarre leaks that start happening. There's a paparazzi picture of all of them at the son's birthday party. So it's Maxi and Wanda's son's birthday. There's this birthday party with all of their 3 sons. But then like Icardi is there. And there's a whole like paparazzi picture of it. And it just looks really uncomfortable that they're all there in the same room celebrating the son's birthday.
Oh, this is in their future.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Wow.
this is happening.
Right now.
Yeah.
So they do group like birthday celebration.
Yeah. And so
Co-parenting.
everyone's like, what's happening? Like, it's getting serious, right? And then there's a leaked phone call We don't know how it's leaked, but it's leaked. Where it's Maxi screaming at Wanda, who's like, next time, if you ever let that guy into another birthday party, I'm gonna rip both of y'all's heads off.
Oh.
And then Icardi does something absolutely insane. He gets Wanda and Maxi Lopez's sons' names tattooed on him.
What?
Tattooed.
Literally, why?
Yeah. So this whole fallout between Maxi Lopez and Icardi is like a global catastrophe. It's just like a mess. To the point where people come up with a new slang for it. Instead of saying like, oh, you got cheated on, they say like you got Icardi'd, which means you got cheated on with your partner and your friend. So it's like a very specific term. It's like worse than cheating. It's when your friend cheats with your partner and it becomes a whole ass verb. You got Icardi'd. I think in this situation, a lot of people were expecting some sort of at least display of shame from Icardi. Whether he goes into hiding and he only focuses on soccer, football, and he doesn't post and he doesn't go on social media. Maybe he even deletes his social media or he deletes all of his previous posts. But that's not at all what he does. He does not hide in shame. Instead, he uses Twitter like it's a public diary. He'll be out there posting stuff like, good night to you at Wanda. I need one of these kisses. And this is like before the divorce is finalized. So they announce that they're getting divorced, but like divorce papers take a very long time, especially between Maxi and Wanda, where there's a lot of assets and Maxi thinks that he's entitled to more assets because it was his career. And then like there's like a back and forth, but they're still legally married. And Icardi is posting, I need a kiss from you, Wanda, who is still legally the wife of somebody else. And people are just confused. There is no code of soccer. There's no bro code for Icardi. He's setting all the codes on fire and then fucking roasting marshmallows over the flames and just expects us to be happy with it. It's just crazy. But then here's what's weird. You know when a love story is so insane, like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, because at the end of the day, Brad Pitt was still married to Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about those.
Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt was married to Jennifer Aniston. He does the Mr. and Mrs. Smith movie with Angelina Jolie. Then he gets a divorce and he marries Angelina Jolie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But then they stay together for so long and they have so many beautiful children together that people start thinking, okay, well, yeah, what they did was wrong. But maybe they're soulmates.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're meant to be together. So people start kind of around 2014, they start shifting like maybe Icardi and Wanda are soulmates. Like maybe that's why they're so blatant about it. That's why Icardi is not even upset. And because Icardi is so blatant and not ashamed of what he's done to his former teammate, maybe Maxi did something fucked up that we just don't know about. Like maybe he is a fucked up guy. People start kind of trying to wrap their minds around it. And in 2014, the two of them, Wanda and Icardi, announced that they're going to get married. And people start doing true love posts. They're doing magazines of her in bridal gowns. And it's saying like the love story. Everything starts getting love washed. It no longer becomes you got Icardi'd to, oh my gosh, look at this modern fairy tale of another footballer and his wag. People are starting to drown out the noise of the betrayal. They're moving on. They just want another love story. Oh, another thing, Icardi, he'll score a goal and he'll dedicate his goals to Wanda. And I was thinking, like, what do you mean he's, like, dedicating the goals to Wanda? Like, you know how Korean soccer players, they'll, like, kiss their ring and, like, point at their wife because they're married? You know, a lot of players will, like, kiss their wedding ring and then, you know, put their hand in the sky. And then their wife is like, me, right? But then he pulls out a whole shirt that's, like, love Wanda. he scores a goal, runs to grab a white t-shirt, and he's, like, holding up this t-shirt that's, like, love Wanda, basically.
Wow.
He's so shameless about all of this. And then he writes a book. He comes out with a book just when everyone's like, this is going to be a love story. This is true love. This is their soulmates. He comes out with a book and we go, oh, what? What the hell? So he writes in his book, the whole love story unravels when he was going to fly to the US for a match. And Wanda DMs him, asking him to buy her an iPad Like, she's going to pay for the iPad. Just, like, get the iPad because it's cheaper in the US. So buy the iPad and bring it to me. Icardi, being the world's most self-aware homewrecker, actually writes in his book along the lines of, like, did she really want the iPad? Or was she just looking for an excuse to get in touch with me? And then the story moves on to the infamous boat trip. I don't know if Icardi thinks that we don't understand social media and timelines, but he writes this book where he's like, so what happened was we were on a yacht. It was with Wanda and Maxi Lopez and
Is
another
this
couple.
book like his diary of their love story? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's like a autobiography, basically, like a memoir.
Okay.
Okay. So then he's like a fifth wheel. He's like a fifth wheel on this yacht trip. And he's writing about it. And he said that was the moment that everything changed, because after Maxi Lopez and everybody else went to sleep, he and Wanda stayed up and they just had these intimate chats.
That's crazy.
Okay, but what's crazier is that we actually have a photo from this trip that we didn't know what was happening behind the scenes when we got this photo. But now in hindsight, it has been dubbed the Trojan horse moment. It's a picture of Wanda, Maxi Lopez, and Icardi on this yacht. Oh, yeah. And why is it called the Trojan horse? You know what the Trojan horse is? It's like a wartime thing where you have this horse. You know, the Trojan War, okay? So you put the enemies in the horse. You think it's an empty horse, but then boom! It basically means the enemy is already inside. Okay?
You're saying Icardi is the horse?
Trojan horse moment doesn't mean he's the horse, doesn't mean he's inside the horse. The meaning behind Trojan horse moment is that by the time that the enemy is inside the house, it's too late.
Too late.
There's nothing else that you can do. And that's exactly what Icardi says in his book. He's like, while everybody else is asleep, I'm having these intimate talks with Wanda and I'm feeling zero guilt about it. So while Maxi Lopez thinks that he's just hosting a friend on a family vacation, he was actually chaperoning the start of an affair involving his wife. And instead of hiding from all of this hate, they basically lean into it. Wanda and Icardi, they do the "we're not sorry" apology tour. They just move forward like they're in some sort of war and it's them against the world. And that's why people feel like maybe they were meant to be soulmates.
So people don't like both of them.
Yeah, but Icardi is a little bit more memed than Wanda is.
Oh.
Like, okay, no, I think Wanda gets the real hate. Wanda gets the real hate of like home records, whore, slut, whatever applies, okay? Whatever you want to slap a label on a girl, okay? She's getting all of that. Icardi, on the other hand, is kind of getting the home wrecker thing, but he's just getting memed. Like, he's just a meme. He's not really being hated. Now, in 2014, they did this whole Pepsi commercial that has since gone viral. Okay, it's mainly Icardi, and it starts with him in the locker room, and there's like this Pepsi bottle behind a glass cage, like one of those fire extinguishers behind the glass, and you have to break the glass. And it says like, do not touch what is not yours, or something like that. Do not touch what is not yours, or like what doesn't belong to you. And he breaks open the glass and he takes off the lid of the Pepsi bottle, okay? And then he goes around, he's hugging his teammates, and as he's hugging them, he's twisting off the lid of their Pepsi bottles. So it was this whole promotion that if you steal, not if you steal, but if you have like 7 Pepsi bottle lids, you could get a free Pepsi at participating locations.
Right, but the whole reason they did that is leaning into it, right?
And then at the end, from his last heist of the Pepsi bottle lid, there's like a McLaren waiting. I don't know if it's a McLaren, Lamborghini, whatever, waiting outside, getaway car.
And there's Wanda
driving the car, and he gets in, and they just skr off.
Yo, why is it always Pepsi?
Pepsi is always at the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
Pepsi is always at the scene of the motherfucking crime.
The Jenner one's also Pepsi, right? Is it the Jenner?
Not Kris Jenner, Kendall Jenner, yes.
Right?
Why did her name yes, Kendall Jenner, scene of the crime, always scene of the crime, okay? And there was just zero shame. Everybody was like, what is happening? And this is airing like primetime TV locations, probably in between Maxi Lopez's football matches. By May 2014, they're getting married in a civil ceremony. And the whole thing, I mean, it was supposed to just be like a warm up. And their big wedding, this is where it gets really crazy. It feels like it's the wedding of the royal family. They've got armed guards with rifles standing about. Everybody is supposed to turn in their phones so they can't leak anything, so that they can't do anything. And the pictures come out. They do all these wedding video promos that are just over the top and kind of cringy. Yeah, I don't know whose idea it was, but they do like a Pride and Prejudice themed wedding video. It's weird. It's just weird. I don't even know how to describe it other than like I can show it to you, but it's just weird. It's just it's like if your nemesis in high school posts a wedding video and you're like, you would have a weird video like that, you know, and then you judge them and then you're like, you know what, that's what you get for bullying people in high school. It's kind of like that, but they're rich and famous, so I don't know why they did it like that, but they have this massive wedding. It looks somehow romantic despite how their relationship even starts, and people thought this is it. This is like the Bonnie and Clyde story. All the other football players, yeah, they have the Cinderella stories, and like that's the story that Wanda had with Maxi Lopez, but now this is the Bonnie and Clyde. This is the ride or die. This is the us against the world. This is the who cares if they don't understand us kind of love, and people start idolizing it, and they're like, you know what? We can maybe get behind it.
You say 2014?
2014. We got a lot.
12 years to go, huh?
Yes.
Damn.
And then immediately after that, they have kids. And my Argentinian researcher was like, okay, so that's the thing with a lot of traditional families in Argentina. The minute that you have kids, she's untouchable.
Like this is a real family,
yes,
maybe?
Yes. And then like when you talk Wanda, it's almost like, why are you trying to break up a family?
Right. Okay.
So they go on and they have 2 daughters and they start co-parenting. So they'll watch the 3 sons that she had from the previous relationship with Maxi Lopez. And then they also have their 2 daughters. And he gets all of their names tattooed on his arm. And it's just like a lot. It's going to be a lot later when you find out what happens. Because you thought this was a happy love story. You thought this was the end of the month. We're still like 20% there.
Okay.
And in 2016, she becomes Icardi's official wifeager. So wife and agent and manager by 2016. And up until 2016, I would say that their relationship, by most accounts, seems stable enough. It was all about like their 3 favorite words are strength, loyalty, and family. Like they're just really honing in. And
Loyalty?
It's almost like, yeah, and they're trying to like normalize the picture of them being together. So they would just do these copious amounts of live streams where they're just sitting on the couch chit-chatting with everybody on the live stream next to each other. And people got used to seeing them together more than they got used to seeing Wanda with Maxi Lopez. So this becomes the new normal. And everyone's like, oh yeah, like this is just a couple that now we accept. But then like once in a while people go, do you remember how they got together? Like it's one of those things where nobody really brings it up anymore because you've seen so much of them. They're so saturated. They're everywhere. So then suddenly she becomes the wifeager in 2016. And this is when the relationship takes another shift because it goes from strength, loyalty to family. And now Wanda's out here making money moves. And Wanda knows what she's doing and she's smart at it. She's a very intelligent woman. But she, sometimes I don't know if it's like she has a well thought out plan and it ends up backfiring, or sometimes, like most men, you know, the emotions get ahead of her and she just starts rapid firing Instagram posts, random story mid negotiations. Like she just becomes way too vocal, which a lot of the older institutions in soccer did not appreciate. For example, Icardi gets signed to an Italian team and he actually gets named the captain of the team. And the captain is really important. The captain is not like, oh, you're the star player of the team, so you're going to be captain. It's a huge deal to be captain. Captains are seen as the mediators. So they're handling the stress from the owners of the team. They're like, you guys better fucking get it together. And then they're handling the stress of all the teammates that are like, we're overworked, we're exhausted, we're dying, like this isn't fair. And then they're complaining to the captain, and they're supposed to be able to handle all these things in a very diplomatic way. They're in charge of the locker room. They're in charge of the code of conduct from the players. They're in charge of, like, if one of their teammates is rude to another team, they're kind of the one that gets the fallback of that because you're the captain. You're supposed to keep everybody in check. What's happening? Icardi is not that. I don't even really know how he gets named captain, and that's not to say that he's not he's an incredible player, but he doesn't like press conferences, for one. That's a huge thing. Captains are all about vague. If you know how to be vague and not answer the question while answering a question, if you know how to be a politician, you're probably going to be the captain of the team, because you're supposed to say things to not offend the teams, not offend other players, not offend the fans, not offend the owners, not offend the institution, while still answering a question that is basically setting you up to offend one of those people. And he doesn't like that. He does not like that at all. He's not, like I said, he doesn't love the whole like team unit, it seems. Like, he's a really good player. I don't know if obviously, I don't think it's slanderous to say that he doesn't respect the bonds of the team when he just got with his ex-teammate's wife. So he's an interesting captain. And Wanda just starts doing some crazy things. I think when you think team captain, you're picturing like a very solid person. Mm-hmm. And then you got the team captain's wife going to talk shows saying, we do it 12 times a day. And everyone's like, well, I don't think we need to know this. Yeah, she's like, we do it. We do the do. He's scoring a goal 12 times a day in the bedroom. And so everyone's like, what is happening? Wow. This is like the captain of the team. And every time she says something, it's going to go viral, obviously. Some people are really mad at her for these statements. I think that's crazy. Other people are saying, look at her. She's just girl bossing all the way to the sun. Like, these are literal comments that people are leaving. And then this is where it gets really bad. Soccer fans, I think at this point, they don't really care. They like Icardi. They like what he does on the field. They think it's a scandal. But like any other male pro athlete, a scandal of any sort of crime or any sort of moral, ethical dilemma does not impact their career. The fans are like, I don't care what he does in his personal life. I don't care if he's a convicted felon. I love him. I love sticking their balls in my mouth. That's what they do. And so they have no problem with this at all up until Wanda comes around and she starts complaining that Icardi's teammates are not giving him good passes. She starts publicly stating that they barely give him 5 good balls, meaning like 5 good passes that he needs to score. So she's almost saying he's not scoring because he's not getting the balls from the teammates, and the other teammates are shit. Like, my husband is a genius, but he's surrounded by losers who can't pass him a ball. That's the energy her words are coming out. And it's like a declaration of war. The fans go insane. And like the fans that I'm telling you about, a lot of these super fans are also heavily misogynistic. So they just hate the fact that this wife is outspoken, and they have now deemed Icardi not good anymore because he's being controlled by a woman. So he's like, he's just letting her walk him by the balls. And they're commenting things like that, and they're so upset. They start posting videos of them lighting his jerseys on fire. There's like a group of super fans who will chant for like 90 minutes at soccer games. I don't know how they don't lose their voice, but they mobbed him almost as he's walking out of a game. They're like throwing his jersey back at them. They bought his jerseys. They're throwing it back at him. They're really upset over this. There's multiple folds of why they're upset. They first think it's unprofessional for a captain's wife to be putting down the team when you're the captain and you're the captain's wife. That's the last thing a captain should do. Second of all, they don't like that she's so outspoken. And then they're like, you also can't be outspoken when you've got a crazy history. Like, you should check your digital footprint before you start saying some crazy shit. Like, that's what they're saying. And quickly after that, it just became like an institutional execution. February 2019, they caved into the soccer team caves into the pressure, and they immediately strip Icardi of his captain armband. Yeah.
But he's still there.
Yeah, he's still there, but this is like a huge ordeal considering it's not just a demotion. Usually when you get stripped of your armband in a way that's unplanned, like you didn't retire, you're not slowing down your career, you're not focusing on your family, you're not switching teams, and they strip you of your armband. It's a very symbolic message to the world and to any other future teams that might want you that you're problematic or controversial, that you were not equipped to lead. So it becomes almost like a bad thing. It's almost like technically it should be better that you were captain for like a little bit, But it's a bad thing when you're stripped of your title of captain, because once you take away something, now it's like, wait, why did they take that away from you? There must be something wrong with you. So it just became a very, very bad thing. And at this point, the narrative starts shifting completely. People stop blaming Icardi and they just now start blaming Wanda. Once he gets stripped of his captain title, the fans come back around. And they're like, oh my God, it's his wife that's ruining him. Look at this poor man because his wife can't keep her goddamn mouth shut. People just start going after her, saying that her ego is growing larger than the footballers. She thinks that she's the footballer. She's willing to burn down multi-million-dollar contracts just to make sure that she's the main character of the story, even if it means torching her husband's own professional dignity in the process. This is like the point of no return. In Argentina, they have a saying that's very similar to here, which is like, they say you don't spit on the barbecue. And we say you don't shit where you eat. Same thing. So like, she did that. She did exactly that. Yeah. And now it's like, there's no return from this. And after that, after he gets stripped of his captain armband, things start brewing in the Icardi household. We don't know what, because Wanda isn't that vocal yet. She kind of learned to tone it down after that whole 5 good balls comment. But you can kind of tell if you go through their Instagram. Wanda stops posting Icardi and she mainly posts the kids. And it's all about family loyalty, but like not the husband. Just family loyalty, being a mom, and it's just the kids. And then all of a sudden, Icardi would stop posting, but the minute that he was in another scandal or there was another situation where throughout his career, I would say that Icardi had his own situations where he just maintained that very individualistic approach. And he got into a lot of tricky situations, even in other teams. Like, remember how growing up, his parents would like bring the food to the side and then he just like would never fully immerse with the other teammates. He kept doing that in other teams. And so people started feeling like he thought that he was too good for people. And it just became like a whole thing. Soccer fans were getting annoyed with it. There's like a whole drama with that. And every time some drama would climax and take over the internet, he would start posting the kids. Almost like a bulletproof vest. It's like, you got a problem? Post the kid. Post the kid. Like, that's what they were doing. And people were like, it's not working because we know what you're doing. Damn. They're like, you can't hate me. I'm a mom. You can't hate me. I'm a dad. Like, that was the vibe that they were giving. Until Saturday, October 16th, 2021. We're still 5 years out, okay? 2021.
What year is the climax?
Oh, it's starting now, but it continues. Like, this is where it hits the climax.
2021 starting?
Yeah, and then it just is a high climax until, like, a few months ago.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, it's like a 5-year long.
Okay.
Exhausted. Wow. Yeah.
Okay, wow.
2021. Everything as we know in the digital world is normal, perfectly safe. By Saturday night, Wanda has burned the entire down, okay? She's trying to take down Instagram and Meta with her. Within minutes, people from Italy, Argentina, Peru, Spain, they're all screaming in their group chats. I'm pretty sure your grandma, who knows anything about football, who's in a care home, ask her about it, and she'll probably know. Without a single warning.
Really?
Wanda, 7 million Instagram followers.
Damn.
1 Instagram post. Story. White text on a black background. Of course it is, okay? That's how you know someone is about to get fucked or someone fucked up. That's it. Like, there's no other options. It's one of those two, and someone's about to get fucked up. She writes, this is the translation. Another family you destroyed. You cunt, homewrecker. What do you mean?
Is there an at?
No, there's no at.
Oh,
there's no at.
Do we know who she's talking about?
We don't know yet, but this is the minute everyone went, what is that? They put their glasses on. They got their computer. They had their computer in one. They had TikToks and Instagram playing on their phone, and they were, we got her.
Okay.
They find her. They find the at homewrecker. And that's where I leave you for
what? What are you saying right now?
That's why I leave you for part 2. Oh, it's gonna get crazy. They find the woman. Maybe she is a serial homewrecker. Maybe she's not. Maybe there's another divorce looming. Maybe there's not. A rapper comes into the mix. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
How many character is here?
6 other families.
6 more people. What?
And then there's a rapper that gets involved. All I'm saying is, Maxi Lopez seems like he was trying to handle the situation a little normally. Okay, when you have a partnership of 2 people, one of them is a little calmer and one of them is a little crazier, and something explodes. It's only going to be 50% the impact as if you were to have a couple where both of them are a little cocoa bananas.
Yeah, you can turn into a tornado.
Oh my gosh. And it's all going to be on Instagram. So stay tuned for part 2 and I'll see you in the next one.